Ymir is one of the most important NPCs in Shadow of the Erdtree, as his questline grants access to numerous unique locations, loot, and even a new Remembrance boss. You can find Ymir at the Cathedral of Manus Metyr. To get to the Cathedral, you can start at the Morph Ruins and then make your way down the hall where there will be a ladder leading to the Bonnie village. This village contains quite a few interesting items, but what we need here is the O Mother gesture located to the north side of the village under this tree. This emote is extremely important, so make sure to pick it up immediately. From the village, simply head east following the road until you reach the cathedral where Ymir is located. By speaking to him, he will give you a map of the First Finger ruins and a special whistle you'll have to use. He also acts as a trader who can sell you various magic spells. Now we have to get to the Finger ruins of Rhia, which are located on the Cerulean coast. I've already made a separate video on how to get to the Cerulean coast via the Elak River and all the loot that is located there, so I'm going to cover this section very briefly. Start at the Temple Town Ruins Site of Grace and then go southeast past the ruins until you reach the cliff where some tombstones are sticking out from the rocks. Use them to make your way down to reach the Elak River, and then just keep heading forward. As I said before, I will not cover the loot and bosses that are located here. Once you've reached the Elak River downstream bonfire, go west past the Furnace Golem to reach the Cerulean coast. Now from here we need to reach the Cerulean Coast Cross Site of Grace, so just follow the route that I'm taking. Once you reach this bonfire, you have to make your way to the actual Finger Ruins. Once again, the path is pretty self-explanatory, and if you're having any trouble, you can always use the minimap I've created to look at the specific map location. Or just ask me in the comments about any troubles you're having with this quest. Once you have arrived to the Finger Ruins Site of Grace, start making your way down towards the center of the ruins. Here, once again, it's quite easy to locate the center of the structure, as all the fingers are pointing towards it. The middle of the ruins will contain a gigantic hanging whistle, and by interacting with it, you can use the whole laden necklace to blow it and get the improved version of the Crimson Seed talisman. Now, don't leave this location just yet, because if you head to the northern side of the ruins, there will be a pathway leading towards a little shack containing the Finger Weaver's Cookbook that allows you to craft a special consumable that shoots magic nails. Also, if you're wondering, all the crafting materials for it can be found at the Finger Ruins. Nail stones are simply lying on the ground, and pearlescent scales drop from the new finger enemies. After completing the first Finger Ruins, go back to Ymir and speak to him. He will give you the map of the second ruins and a talisman that enhances the casting speed of spells but increases damage taken by 30%. Not only that, but Ymir will also have more finger related sorceries for sale. Now, to get access to the second Finger Ruins, we need to go in the church district of the Shadow Keep. And from here, get access to the storehouse back section Site of Grace. Once you have reached this bonfire, go up the ladder and then continue going forward until you come to this balcony. Here, if you turn around, you'll see a hole in the wall. This will lead you to the very top section of the Shadow Keep's specimen store. Simply jump down on this level and take the elevator and then another elevator to reach Scaduview. If you go forward, there will be a very annoying battle with Commander Gaius, which is a Remembrance boss. But if you go to your right, there will be a Marika statue alongside a Scaduview fragment. Remember the old mother gesture we got at the start of the video? Well, if you use it now, the statue will grant you access to an entirely new location. There are quite a lot of things to see here, like a variety of different bosses with their own unique rewards, or some extremely useful talismans, for example. But what we want here is, of course, the finger runes of Dheo. Just like you did with the previous ruins, go to the center of the structure and use your whistle. This will of course progress the quest and grant you the +1 variant of the Cerulean Seed talisman. Once you go back to Ymir, there will be a knight named Jolan. Speak to her and then to Ymir to get the 3rd ruins map. This will also unlock another new spell for you to purchase. You can ask him some questions about the lore of the game, but it doesn't affect the quest in any way. Now rest at the Site of Grace. As you see, Ymir is now gone, and by interacting with his throne, you can get access to the final 3rd finger ruins. What's important is that you'll be invaded by Knight Anna, who is Jolan's sister, and after defeating her, go back to Jolan and talk to her about the invasion. At the ruins, you can also find the 2nd Finger Weaver's Cookbook. The consumable you can craft with boosts all magic stats but slowly decreases your HP. Once you have done all of that, interact with the 3rd whistle to gain access to Metyr, Mother of Fingers. Don't worry, I won't drag this video out by explaining how to dodge the boss, because to be honest, I have no idea. It's important to note that this is a Remembrance boss that grants you some finger-related weapons. After defeating the Finger Mother and going back to the Cathedral, you'll be invaded first by Jolan and then by Ymir. Defeating him will grant you his full set, bell bearing and staff. Now don't leave this location just yet, because if you rest at the Site of Grace, you will have the ability to talk to Jolan and either use an Iris of Grace or an Iris of Occultation. Both of these items can be found at the Shadowkeep. In order to get the Iris of Grace, you will have to start at the Specimen Storehouse and then go down this elevator into the corridor until you reach a room with lots of jars in it. Here on a pedestal will be lying the Iris of Grace. The Iris of Occultation will be located in the Church District of the Shadowkeep. To get it, we first need to drain the water from this location. Now that the water is gone, 2 new tree spirit bosses are available at the base of this location, and one of them will give you the Iris of Occultation. If you decide to use the Iris of Grace, it will give you Jolan's Spirit Ashes. But we all know that real gamers complete bosses without Spirit Ashes and without any armor. So I obviously chose the Iris of Occultation that gives you a special Shadow Katana. What's interesting is that the Ash of War of this weapon is chargeable, which means it benefits from Godfrey's icon. So that was all, thank you everyone for watching, remember to like and subscribe, and I see you in the next video.